I want to do God's will. God's will. That's something that's really important for us as believers to consider. Most of the times we make decisions, we usually probably just go by what we think is our own wisdom or what we feel like is best in the moment. How do we feel about a particular choice? But I like what Jesus did in the Garden of Gethsemane when he was praying and he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." Giving absolute and total and complete trust to the Father, and that whatever the Father led him to do was going to be what was best, what was needed. And I think about my life, and I think about the times when, even as a believer, I've done what I thought was best, or I've made decisions based on what I desired or what I wanted to do, and it hasn't always been the right choice. Because I didn't say those simple words before taking the first step, before making the decision. I didn't say, "Father, what is your will? Let your will be done and not mine." We should always be seeking God's will to be done on earth. Just like the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples, one part that he made sure not to leave out was, "Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And we're asking God to do this so that it will be clear that he is the King and he is the Lord, because he always should be on the throne in our lives. And when he's on the throne in our lives, one of the things that's going to be demonstrated by him being on the throne in our lives is that we're going to seek his face before we make big decisions, before we make life-altering decisions. We're going to always seek God's face. Even when we wake up in the morning, we should be saying, "Lord, lead me into your will today. Direct and guide my steps so that I can do the things that reflect your glory and that honor you as I live this day on this earth," right? We shouldn't just be living life and making choices and doing things just for the sake of doing them. And we should never live as if we sit on the throne of our own lives like most of us do. We want to make decisions what's best for my life. But one of the things I remember that the scripture says is that my life is no longer my own. It was bought at a price. Jesus paid the price for my life. My life rightfully belongs to the Lord. And God knows what's best for my life. Have you ever thought about how God can see all things and how we cannot? How there may be danger up ahead and I'm walking down this road straight towards danger, straight towards a bad situation, and God alters my path by bringing something into my life to deter me, and I might get upset about it, or I might be like, "Why do I have to go through that? Why do I have to experience that?" But the only reason that I have a problem with it is because I didn't see where that road was leading me. If I would have seen what God seen, I would have made the same choice that God made. We need to understand that not only does God see all things, but God is perfectly wise and we are not. This is why the book of Proverbs, a book focused on wisdom, tells us to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and lean not on our own understanding. We need to remember to acknowledge the Lord in all our ways and allow him to direct our paths so that we always end up doing what is best, not just for us, but for others, and what's pleasing to God at the same time. So ask yourself this question: have I been asking God what his will is for my life? Or have I been so busy doing my own will that I haven't even considered it? It's time to think about it. It's time to put on the mind of Christ and say to God, "Not my will, but yours be done." Be blessed, people.